tó bí ọkàn jẹun lọ ni. Wọ́n lè jẹ́ kí United.
I get that person say come late.
See. I mean, get am ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni láyọ̀.
Ready?
Bọ̀bọ̀ yìí kí ló ṣe ilé ìgbìmọ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mọ́ kó ti bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn ìka ó fa ọdún.
Hola a todos, hola mi gente, hola mi amigos y mi amigas.
Baby.
La bienvenida del maravilloso espectáculo. Me llamo Babajide Guerrero.
Action.
Is it been a long
yo soy presentario por ocasiones.
You know the yes party.
You're big off when visa.
Muy bien y muy feliz porque estoy con mis amigos
Keep going, don't change
IBK
it.
Sports y Inyo Bong Monday y Olakunle Rufai. Ẹ káàsán ẹ kú lé ṣé dáadáa lẹ́wà ṣé àlàáfíà lẹ́wà tẹ̀yìntẹ̀yìn fi tí gbọ́ mi ní déédéé wòyí. Akínyìn káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yín ètò wa ètò Hindsight podcast ètò tó gbangba sùn lọ́yẹ̀ ni IBK Sports.
Me that board shall not fall on top of your head.
IBK Sports wà ń kalẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀gbọ̀n Monday àti Olakunle Rufai. What's going on, Nigeria? What's going on, world? Very. Oh, okay, nice. I should do Igbo. Ekele Mono, Afambo, Babajide Guerrero, Ndewo, Nine, Ndewo, Mami, and Papa and Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to what is, by every intent and purpose, leave me alone.
I was having people go change out for you. The call
By
not
every
That one, I will go do.
Now, hot trust be that. I will start hot trust. What a day to be alive. What a day to be here again. I think I've had many privileges of having better times in my lifetime. If I die tomorrow, I die a very fulfilled man. But there are not so many feelings that compares to the feeling of coming into the studio to sit with these minds, with these brothers in arms as well. And of course, knowing fully well that you guys are there, sharing time with us, spending data with us. Because data is life. And always looking forward to our content on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and everywhere we put it out. You are our family members, and by extension, we love you and thank you. Welcome. This is the Hindsight podcast. We are live. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and I've got the creme of the pick of the pack, the creme of football journalism walking on God's green earth in this house at this particular time. We thank Cloud Africa for always giving us a home to call ours, and of course you as well for sharing a space in your heart with us. How can we thank you? We are narrowing down to the end of the season, and it's been absolutely amazing from the get-go up until now. What's going on, IBK Sports? Always good to see you, my brother.
I did, Baba, I did. I think what's popping on my head is that video.
Something fall on person.
Jesus.
Ẹ kú dédé wòye ẹ̀yin wa ẹ sọ káàbọ̀ sí ara ìròyìn láti lè ṣẹ̀mú máwòrán ìjọba àpapọ̀ ìkànnì Oòduà fún ti tòní Fọlákẹ́mi Adéṣọ̀nà Àbínà ní orúkọ títí mi.
A few moments later.
Omi àdágún Ògùtà.
Sorry. Nothing happened. Sorry. This is this.
See, Wale, let me say it now. You see, on Twitter, right? I've been seeing people saying, I hope that thing is a skit. It's not a skit.
It's not.
It is not a
It's not a
skit.
skit.
Are you sure?
It's not.
It is
That's a
legit.
live. That's a
What are
live
you talking
TV.
about?
That's a live TV.
Let me tell you, that's live TV.
Are you
That's
sure?
You know
live
what people
TV,
are surprised
yes.
with? You know what people are surprised with? You know a lot of people that have not been involved.
You don't know.
Or people that have been involved in production.
Yes.
Who understand the concept of green screen.
I wasn't surprised.
You understand?
That's green
They will
screen.
feel like, oh, this is the green screen is
Yes.
probably something that cannot fall off
Yes.
that way.
Yeah.
But if you have been involved
Yeah, of
in
course.
production of these names, these stations, these terrestrial stations,
Yes,
you
that we
know
cannot talk- we
the
know.
things that they do.
Person say if you work for them, always watch your back.
You have to watch the back. You have to indeed.
You know the things that
Because
they do. So the moment
anything-
I saw that video, I say, okay,
Anything-
of course
That's
now. I won't mention name. I've been on set.
That shit is scary.
I've actually been on set.
It
I've
is.
actually been on the set
Shit is
of
scary.
one of those stations, right? I've actually been on the set
no.
of one of those stations for a morning
The way that
show.
thing knocked that girl for head.
That was why I wasn't surprised, because I knew that was they use stuff like that for the
That is it. Jesus.
Jesus.
Somebody said that they didn't enter word.
You know?
That the guy should have said Jesus.
You know when you know nothing in this
Wow.
world,
Crazy,
nothing
man.
in this world can prepare you for the end of that video.
Yeah.
You know, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, these people
That man.
again.
That man.
You know, these people again. I was like, which kind of
You know
studio
the
is
funny
this?
thing? I saw that video on Twitter and I brushed past it.
Yep.
Why? Because I was listening to I thought people were trolling her for the way she was speaking at Yoruba. I'm not Yoruba, but I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't smooth.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and because
yeah.
I have Yoruba friends and I know they sound better than that. So I just thought it wasn't smooth. That's why they were trolling her. It is this morning that I've gone back to that video to see the full video.
Yeah, it's
And believe me, I didn't prepare to see what
That
happened.
man even say, sorry. How is it?
the woman say Jesus.
The man go carry that.
Carry him first, so put him back, uphold it back, right where he was. Right, IBK Sports makes a return to the
I
show.
don't say Wale no fit do that kind of mistake.
You know,
Never.
Comedy of errors.
After
Wale na slow man.
after a while,
Fire him straight.
it's not been around for a while, you know, but it's good to have the guys back.
Oh, thanks, Oba.
Olakunle Rufai, he
celebrate
came
my
here
brother.
because of one thing, guys, and of course we'll get to that particular thing, but not now. We're eventually gonna get there. How you doing, my brother? Good to see
I'm
you.
good.
Belated birthday wishes to you. This guy
Let
is a
no
moral.
break before
This guy-
that you read that place where
This
you
guy,
say you want
this guy is a this Olakunle Rufai. The guy intentionally didn't post himself on his birthday. No, he didn't allow anybody post, but I still posted him.
He's growing.
And then it's
growing.
not growth, it's sapa.
No, it is. It's growing.
It's not growing. See,
Honestly,
man.
you know,
Both of you are right.
you know,
it's
no,
Sapa.
but the point is,
Both of us are right.
Yeah.
Did
point of it, you know,
if person like this tell you say he's growing, you go understand. It's
See-
coming from a place of experience.
no, but the truth, the
get
fuck for them and leave all these whining. Make I tell you the truth. As a young person, when you're, you know, there are certain things. If you get to a particular age in your life, and things that used to excite you when you were 20, 21,
I think it happens
19,
to me now. Yeah.
they still excite you.
Yeah.
You're just aging. You're not growing.
Yeah, true.
You
Cinema,
know,
cinema,
when-
no,
when
never
we're
convert
younger-
them.
No.
Cinema never convert them
So
to words on the marble.
When,
Pastor
when I
Maguire.
was younger, bro,
Please.
we they wait till 12 a.m.
Yes,
make
for birthday.
come.
I know they
Yes.
wait.
You
Sorry.
don't know when we're younger. Obviously,
Yes, of
it's
course,
something
of
you.
course.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah, I know they wait.
Goosebumps.
You be shibiri boy.
you want
Rabbi.
post.
That
You want
get.
post.
Yes.
I told the babe this year.
Yeah.
I told the babe this year. She was 28. I said, I've known you for at least six years. And for every time, for all these years that I've known you,
Yeah, excited.
every year, you are doing birthday shoots. You are buying cake. It's not a bad thing to celebrate yourself.
True.
But what exactly are you celebrating? Every year, you go into the studio.
Yeah.
You're 28.
Yeah.
Maybe I
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
The act itself is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But to what end exactly?
Yes.
You know, every year. Next year,
I'm sure people will come for you for this.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
I think
You're going to be
you are
29.
Wrong, you are wrong.
You're going to go and
No,
do shoot.
you are wrong. You
Yeah.
are wrong. People have what makes them happy. People have
True.
why
But
they
I
celebrate
know
themselves.
now.
If you don't the thing is that if you don't have any reason to celebrate your own birthday,
Who told you I don't have any reason?
then why are you coming at people who are actually celebrating?
Who told you I
theirs?
don't have any
IBK.
reason?
Me, I don't have any issues with
Yeah.
it, bro. If you want to
IBK.
celebrate
Yes.
every
No,
day,
yeah.
every moment,
Yes.
Baba, you have, like you said, someone was saying that you can die tomorrow, you can die anytime.
Yeah.
Baba, just celebrate. Life is short.
Young man,
I
young
get
man.
it.
He never said people should not celebrate when they
Don't
want to
get
celebrate.
it.
The person he's talking about, you don't know how close that person is to him.
So don't
Calm
worry.
down. We're not on Twitter. This is real life. He's talking about somebody that he knows.
Okay.
Anyways, I think
you don't ask why the person is celebrating.
I think-
you know ask.
As I talk that thing, I didn't say you're quiet. Don't let the
Baba, you know,
don't let the effect just you know go.
Not
Come
reading,
back
not
when you
reading-
get the memo.
not reading the
a
room.
good guy. I like you. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. Don't read any room. No room, read himself.
Don't mind that.
Right, so you've heard from the guys. I wanted to introduce Inyobong Monday. He wanted to cover it up. Inyobong is always late.
Oh my word.
Guys, Inyobong is always the only reason why you can't change it for Inyobong is because he's a senior man.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's
My
one. And
producer
number two.
was raking
And
me on
number
the
two.
phone.
And number two.
Now it says you
Guys,
can't, that's
Inyobong-
that's
Inyobong-
senior man Babuogi there.
Yeah, but
Inyobong-
to say you know the senior man, that raking for go further now. As you just come there for say make you no enter. We go don't move on with
You know,
the show.
has a way of just
But I-
apologizing to everybody.
But
Oh,
me,
my
they
guy, my
apologize
guy, my
because
guy, my
no,
guy.
I'm responsible.
My guy, my
If
guy.
you do
No,
something
you are not
wrong,
apologizing because you are responsible.
No, but that's
you
what
are
that was-
apologizing because you know that your white beard will not allow us to do anything. Yes. That's the reason.
leave this white
We,
beard, I go
we
soon
respect
cut
that.
am.
We respect that, and respect everybody for
Make
you
people
know,
wait supposed to give me money, they call me senior man.
always been there for us. You know, and Inopunk is actually quite big. You know, you guys don't know how big some of these people are. Let me tell you.
see.
Let me just wait first.
Hey.
I go slap you.
No vex. No vex. Make I no casting it for you.
So, I was in I went to do a game in Akwa Ibom, you know, and then we can put it out there, Wally. You know, sometimes people just see some of. Sometimes even I don't try to believe hype, especially my own hype, you know. But when people around me, you know, tell me about people that are also around me, I'm like, oh wow, so nice. So I went to Akwa Ibom now.
in
I
Akwa
went to
Ibom.
eat. I went to eat
Whiskey.
afang, you know, somewhere.
Serious.
I went to eat afang somewhere. So I was now watching our clip from the podcast. It was Thursday, and I didn't, you know, guys. Only I put it out on Friday. Inobong made the show. I think he was on that show, and then one other person was on the show. No, I became. You know me, I was just there enjoying my afang and stuff now, mixing, enjoying the good life because
with the
man might die
Chop
tomorrow.
up for Akwa Ibom.
Yes, because man, that's
You
the
don't enjoy
headquarters.
this life. Oh.
That's the
You're
headquarters.
privileged, bro.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is not
Highly.
a lot of us can say. it.
Highly
privileged,
privileged.
bro.
Highly. I did not hesitate. Edit
Rich
that one
man.
afang.
Bro, we
So I
need to
just
go
say-
to you one of these days.
I just say,
Now
so
you're
I
talking.
was just flipping, right? I was just flipping. I was not watching the show because I watched the show. I watched everything. And one girl, I was just she was like, she was telling the other girl, me, of course, me, I don't understand what she was saying.
yeah.
Per head, ini. I just looked at the girl. She was like, I was like, of course, it's rude to look at people's phone. You know, it's my phone. So the girl looked, I mean, in a way like, okay, that she saw. I was like, no, it's fine. I said, do you know him? I said, yes. He's friends to Unfon. He said, he's friends to Unfon. In your bunk, how? The girl, in my mind, I'm like, now Michael Jackson.
In a big name.
I mean,
now,
Michael
but-
Jackson. I'm going to say, ini, that's my way they
That's
knock
it.
for head up and down
Know that
for.
they do anyhow.
Where they do anyhow, we don't get
You
cause
see,
in
you
him.
make I talk, Sha.
I say he's my friend.
This
My-
thing,
this
I-
I can't pop up. I say he's my friend.
He's my friend.
my
If he's
G,
friend
my-
to Unfo,
he's my friend.
He's my friend too.
He's
Do
my
you know
friend.
why? This is now one of the reasons they make me sometimes. I see people in the comment section when they banter and insult senior man. I say this is.
No,
people
we'll
don't
begin the
understand.
we'll begin the fight for him.
Any-
We're not going to look at him
any-
again.
any-
No.
you don't understand?
I will take it upon myself. Anybody will blast him. I will dey fight for you.
You know, but
My battle just
off the
Maybe
camera,
no
we
Ghana
were
beat you.
off the camera, we're saying how it's important for you to grow. If you want to do the job, you have to grow a thick skin. You know,
Fact.
Of course.
the fact
Of
that
course.
I think in is
Does
one
he
of
have
those
his
few
skin
guys
in
who,
the game?
but sometimes I intentionally want to look for trouble. You know, sometimes when people. I like what Oloye Akinlabi said. He said this many years ago. He said, do not think because I'm a public figure, if you bash me, I'll let it go. Sometimes I'll come for your jugular. I do that thing sometimes. Paul Sports posted something recently. Some kids, Barcelona kids were playing football and then the referee blew the whistle, but one player was injured. So the coach of the other team was talking to his boys. Before we
Now,
meet,
they
Barcelona
restarted
took
the
the ball,
game.
started, and then they scored. Then I didn't even know that people follow Barcelona that much, even to the cradle. And I said, oh, this is bad for football. It's bad for what they're teaching. One guy just came for me, an idiot. Apparently, he now went to my page. And I said, oh, I wonder how you even got the job of being a presenter. Who are the people that listen to you? I just sat down. I'm like today.
I get them.
I mean, sometimes, yes, I'm like that.
Yeah, sometimes, of course.
I have time.
Everyone is like
I just
that.
started typing. I said, I think I wrote, me, I'm like that. Sometimes I can be very petty.
You don't have his
Of
skin
course
in the
now.
game.
No, so I now told the guy that you'll be very lucky in your life if you have achieved half
Of-
or
yeah.
quarter of the things I've done.
Fact.
I looked at the boy and I said, I'm sorry, but I think you should get a degree. I said some like 5 statements before you even come back. The boy no come back. You know,
No,
message
there was a guy. There was a guy that did something like that in our conversation one time, and I looked at the guy and I was like, "Yo, like this, you that are coming, what have you done with?" So the guy, the guy responded again. The guy don't know. Say that day I ready.
Ah, yes.
So
There are some
he
days like
responded.
that.
The guy responded. He said, one time he blocked me.
Yes.
You can't go in mail.
He blocked me, Baba. I look for this guy. They find the name. I they ask for this, Baba. Where you know this guy? They find the name, Baba. Already. Normally, if you drop an episode, normally, sometimes I don't even watch the episode, right? When Wale posts snippets on Instagram, sometimes I'm telling you for a fact. Sometimes I never open the comment section, ever. I feel watch the snippet where Wale post. I go come up for IG naturally, and guess what? I don't get notifications from IG. If you send me a DM, I won't get a notification on this screen until I open IG. I wanted it to be like that. I don't want to get notification for my lock screen. When I want ready go IG, I go there.
True.
So I don't receive notifications from it.
Same here.
So I don't even open comment section sometimes. So but there was a particular time that okay, I see the comments, I ready for the guy. I respond to the guy. The guy come back. I ready. The guy say, "No, it's okay. You ready? You ready?" It is because they speak English on top podcast.
Yes. So sometimes it's like that. People get to be like that. But again, we have to go a screen. I have a guy, one of my brothers, Benzi. This thing what you do, the guy go find your email. If you block him, he will go and find your email. You now message.
That guy beg. That guy beg.
So we beg now because some people really have time. People don't see because some people are like on social media and stuff.
So
but
you need to really watch like what.
Let's just get right into it, gentlemen. Great stuff. Great way to start the show today. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Respect to everybody grinding out there. The rain has been immense and intense lately, guys. It's been crazy. True. We do love the fact that it's a bit calmer lately, but it's been destructive in a way. So many shops, so many people, so many sense of livelihood has gone.
Yep.
And it's been absolutely amazing to see that the Lagos State government has been responsive, helping some people out in some situations.
Yep.
And in some places, it's been very, really crazy in terms of what the debris that the rain brings to the road, causing blockage and all. Maybe that's why you even come because of the traffic.
That Ikate, that place they call Ikate.
Baba,
I don't go reach there again.
those places are great,
I suffer.
So respect to God for sharing us rain.
How can we not mention Hilda?
Yeah, I mean, I just said respect. No, that's what's going. And I said respect to the rain. You took that. You took that right from my mouth. Respect to the God for giving us rain. Respect to Hilda for putting Nigeria right on the map again for the good things. I think one of the reasons why I respect things like this, I'm sorry, no disrespect, I think a lot of people would want to lap onto this and use it for their own aggrandizement. It's natural. People go there making videos acting like they know the girl from way back, and that's fine. Success knows a lot of stuff, but I think what she's done. I think what she's done is good to remind everybody that sometimes, even if it looks easy, it's never easy. Somebody said something. I had the privilege of calling the international marathon, Abuja International Marathon, and the winner of the marathon said something that will live with me forever. He said he has won 5 marathons in the last 8 marathons of his career, but is the winning that everybody's looking at now. Yep. People are forgetting that, every day he wakes up at 4 a.m. and he runs 3 hours in Nairobi, Kenya, every day for the past 10 years of his life.
Yep.
Right. So I'm just imagining
3 hours.
Yes, every day. He runs 4 a.m. He runs 4:30 to 7:30 every day. So he does that similarly to put himself in the middle. So I'm just trying to.
What are you talking about?
So I'm just trying to imagine.
I like
that thing now.
There's a guy. I don't know. If it's Gombe or I don't know the state in Nigeria, he's already. He has done about 20 hours already.
He's trying to break it already.
Cooking. He's trying to break it already.
People didn't know that for the Guinness Book of Records, you have to wait a year before you.
But they said they've not approved Hilda's one yet.
They haven't, and so, I think that.
And it's taking too long, so I'm scared. Actually,
no, there is.
Happy said that has 2 weeks.
Exactly. So see, at the end of the day, so we work. First of all, we'll have to say like it's big congratulations to Hilda, what she has done. I said it on our radio show as well. For me, the biggest thing in all of this for me, people will try to focus on the negatives of what she did. People who don't know her, everybody they farms her now. Bro, that's natural. That's life.
True.
She planned for that anyway. That's why she went with some of the best social media influencers to be able to propagate what she was doing. There are other people that done or attempted to break the Guinness World Record that we didn't know about, right? There was a DJ from Akure. There was, so she planned it, decided, you know what, we're going to have social media guys, we're going to have all of that. So the whole plan was to have what she had. So now that she has now gotten their attention that she planned for, we can't now say, all of you are just fancying her. Bro,
it's normal now.
But Nigerians,
it's normal.
Nigerians were brilliant.
They were. I was there. I knew that. It was going to be. Baba, I park for I waka like
Bro.
few kilometers.
Bro.
I don't want stress,
Bro,
so I walked
I've
down.
never seen
The place was packed.
I've never seen a
This was
conglomeration.
Sunday. This was
1
Sunday
2 a.m.,
evening.
Brother,
3 a.m.
I've never seen a conglomeration of bunnies like that in my life.
We didn't gbé ọ̀rọ̀ gbàṣà.
Guy, in
À
my
ń sọ nǹkan tó serious. Ó dẹ̀ sọ pé bunnies. Senior man don't know the meaning of bunnies.
Eyes on the ball. So yeah.
No, eyes no dey ball. Eyes no dey ball. Because senior man are my guy.
Senior man.
And I'm sure senior man, his wife is watching.
Senior
Your
man,
wife
so-
too,
so-
you
so-
don't know the meaning of bunnies.
Senior man, so a bunny is
Wait,
Senior
wait.
man,
Now,
now you
wait.
go talk am.
You know the meaning of broad.
I don't.
Senior man don't know this thing. Senior man, senior man. Senior man, a bunny is. Senior man, you get it. A bunny, that's a bunny. This
Boys are corrupt.
is a bunny is.
Fantastically corrupt
Yes,
boys.
a bunny is yes. A bunny.
I don't think if I don't go back alone.
You know, but he
Tell me.
attracted everyone, you know, but shout out to her.
Thank God no color your voice. So.
I completely wish
this
you know
is what
that
you want to do with sign language.
they stop.
God
that-
don't give you voice. They do like,
That the record
God,
that the record is verified,
serious
you know,
on this
it's ASAP, you know, but yeah, congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Big congratulations to her. It's amazing what she's been able to do, and of
Yeah.
course things like this obviously open, you know, more doors and big doors. And I think now the issue now will be, I mean, that's for her and her team to decide. It's a case of relevance, you know, going forward, because sometimes it's just like the same issue with Big Brother. You know, a lot of time you see a lot of these people and then they struggle for longevity of relevance. And sometimes I tell people that care to listen, you have to define success in your own terms, you know, because otherwise you'll be lost. It's a time where, so I mean, as a master of ceremonies, people come on to me and say, I did an event recently, Sun King. Shout out to them anyway. Did an inverter, and then somebody said something to me that event, and the person said, "Wow, you are really, really good, but wow, we really don't see you out there. We don't know you out there." I was like, "Very good. Have you ever seen platinum before in your life?" She said, "No." "Have you ever seen raw diamond before?" She said, "No." "Have you ever seen gold, like real raw gold?"
bro.
She said, "No."
You
I said,
did
and I brought out silver for my neck. I said, "This is silver. It is not original, but it's expensive." She was like, "Okay, I understand." I said, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" She said, "Yes." I just kept quiet. I'm happy she understood where I was coming from and where I was going to. So, and now I got to that place in my head, brother, before I let you, in my head, that there's nobody born of a woman in this life that can tension me. They never born me.
Yeah. So,
But you know why their own is
because-
different. You know why their own is different. Now the thing is, this issue of Guinness Book of Record is a state is it, will I call it an intent? Is an intention, you know, like something that you know that this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
Now this is the problem with Big Brother. A lot of them, you can't put them that this is what they do for a living.
Yeah, only a few of them, to be honest.
You're not okay.
Only
Look
a few
at
of them
Kafi
has
now.
been
Kafi,
to-
you know her that
She's a dancer.
she broke the record
Yeah.
with dancing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure all her life since then,
She's been
what
dancing.
has put food on the table is
That
that
record.
stuff. It's the same thing
In
with
a way.
Hilda. She has something. If you call her name now, people know that this is what a lot. I can call 20 Big Brothers ex-housemates that you
How
don't
do you even know 20?
No, like randomly that you don't
I do-
even know what they do. A lot of them going to that house.
I don't know.
Doing, they
Am
don't
I-
even
So
know.
here's what I would say.
Okay.
IBK, here's what I would say. I think I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
quite honestly, on the surface of it. But I won't help you make them don't drag you for social
I
media.
don't really know drag you.
Because you know there's a podcast pandemic, and we're also treading on the edge. We don't want them to put us inside that pandemic.
Yes.
What's
There's
to
everybody
say,
did
what's to
podcast
say,
about-
I get
Exactly.
table, I don't buy mics.
Yeah.
I start podcast.
So you see, we have to come to a realization in this world that because I'm also looking at myself. If we say, oh, I can call 20 ex-Big people that we don't even know what they do. But me personally, I know that I want to be able to get to a point where I don't want you to know what I do.
True.
I just want you, even if you know me, I just want you to maybe feel like, oh, that guy is okay. I don't know what you can't don't figure me out. I don't like noise. I always tell you guys that you get the kind of bar we go enter my account. I'm not capping.
That's a good
I'm
idea.
not only going to delete my Instagram account, I will delete Instagram app from my phone.
Fact.
The same with Twitter and the likes.
Just
So
go off.
you understand? I don't want anybody to know me,
Happens
only the
that way.
people that matter. So in that regard, when you think about it like that, I get what you're saying, you are not wrong.
Yeah.
But in that regard, it's like, okay, because you don't know what they do,
Doesn't mean
it
they
is
have
not
a bad day.
actually right to, I think, publicly judge them.
Yeah.
We can have conversations in private and be like, oh, this person. But because when you come to the public and you publicly judge them, it's like when you are wrong,
They'll come for you easily.
the fact that you are wrong is now also
Yeah,
public
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
also
And
live
the
with that.
army of
Exactly.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
sure,
very
sure.
volatile,
Exactly.
aggressive fan base.
Yeah,
you know,
but,
they're
but,
waiting to.
but I think I like it's funny, right? Luckily that thing is like a cult, is religiously followed. You know, people.
Yeah. Sometimes I try to figure out how.
And I'm like, I must be really weird, you know, but because I see these people, I'm like, okay, on to the next one. And then there's somebody who's crazy. I was speaking to a young girl recently, you know, I was at an event and, you know, one of these people walked in, and to be honest, I think one of the things that I won't say suffer in quotes is that I don't know people. Right, I'm not on anybody's table. Nobody can say, "Oh, this person is. I'm on this body's table. I'm this person's boy." I mean, shout out to the people who trained us, who gave us platform. You know, Senior Man Empress. You know, did great for the boys, and one or two other people that we can mention their name. The Grandmaster Basosh Tyra, we thank you, Ali Baba here and there. You know, but we can't really say these are our boys. These are the people we are. Like we are these people's boys. You know, because we still struggle for bread. So one of these people came in. I'm not going to mention her name, but she's quite big, and I did not recognize her. And it's not my fault. That's the way I am. Now, where I knew I did go.
Now consign me.
So when the girl came in, I just saw that almost everybody was like, I'm like, wait,
I
happen?
get what you're saying.
And then they're like, oh, this person just came. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Where is she? I'm like, okay. You don't know her? I'm like, yes, I don't know her.
You know, when you're in that kind of situation, people feel like, this one is trying
Yes,
to.
yeah,
this one is
no,
trying to. Nobody's-
I'm sorry, that's just
nobody's
the thing.
legit.
But
I might
you know
even
it's
know
kid.
you.
I
might even know you.
Ogo.
But you see, from a very young age, and you see, that's why this thing.
Another podcast.
I'm telling you, I'm being compelled to go deeper.
No, be like, no, go deeper.
So let's
just face up.
because what
Yeah,
I was
so-
about to say is
So
content.
in conglomeration, I don't know what that word mean for this thing I want to talk about. Make I use that now, your word. In conglomeration.
Conglomerate of bunnies.
Yes. Those are line of, those are line. That's a line of a physical gigolo. Conglomeration of bunnies. Right. So congratulations to Hilda Bassi. Great stuff. And it's been a great it's been a great week, you know, a week that has been laden with the good, the bad, and the ugly, including a slap, you know, on the face of some police officer by, you know, the gentleman Sean Kuti. I have to call him gentleman, you know.
Hello, everybody.
You know,
the
but
Ghanaian.
Hello,
it's
everybody.
going on well, you know. Case is still ongoing, you know, but it's been a very great week. So let's focus now.
Do you want to make a point about that?
No, please.
Yeah,
no,
we don't
please.
want to enter the podcast.
Yes. We don't want to enter because everybody, just like senior man.
Before they go bring mic,
I don't
they
buy
have mic.
table. I don't buy table and I don't get mic. Next thing I have to start podcast. You know, but no disrespect to anybody trying that out. We also started somewhere.
Yeah.
And then now we've won awards and we keep winning awards. You see, we are the biggest dog in the yard. So please come to the table. Bring it on. All or nothing. Speaking of all or nothing, this gentleman had 3 opportunities on his table. And then he chose the one that I think is logical and right. Folarin Balogun stepped forward. The only player that have scored more goals at this age and at his first time at the league on is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Folarin Balogun has been absolutely fantastic for Reims. And I think congratulations to him for making the right choice.
Yeah.
He had England, he had Nigeria, and he had USA. Let me start with you, gentlemen. In your bunk, good choice.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice because he's going to play. Because at that age, what you want to do at that stage of development as a player, you're not the finished article yet, and you want to be in a position where you're playing constantly for the national team. People do not realize, and that's why I get really frustrated when I see, you know, African players come to the national team and, you know, put up a lackadaisical attitude about playing for the nation. Your reputation as a footballer grows very high.
Yep.
When you're doing well for your national team.
Sure.
Irrespective of your national team, whether you're playing for Gambia or Niger Republic, if you've got a big international career, your reputation as a player just gets really big. And Nigeria could have been an option, but does he play ahead of Victor Osimhen? You know, we've got Victor Boniface, who's on,
Gift Orban.
You know, we've
Sadiq
got Gift
Umar.
Orban, we've got Sadiq Umar, who was on our show.
Taiwo
Paul Onwuachu, Taiwan.
Aoni.
Are we Are we serious? This is Super Eagles you're talking about.
You know, so
God
that's
damn.
a group of players.
Emmanuel Dennis.
Yeah,
So
that's-
you're thinking, is there a chance for him to just walk into the team?
Wow.
Is there a chance for him to walk into the team?
I
No.
didn't say no.
Yeah.
But
With the US,
with the US, I don't think they've got that pool of talent in that position.
don't be nice.
They
They're
don't.
absolutely shite. they have nobody in that
Don't.
department.
So
They got DK one time, they got Zardes
Yeah.
another time, they got
DK
Josie
plays
Altidore.
for. DK plays for.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The last time they had by their standard, high profile,
Altidore.
it was
Altidore.
Altidore. And when I say high profile, I'm not saying like the top striker. I'm talking like at least that we know the name.
They had this farm guy too. This farm.
There was
Dempsey.
Dempsey is on number 9.
Donovan.
There was Landon Donovan. Landon Donovan is on
Ryan
number 9.
McBride.
Yeah.
They had a group of
No, I think
just
that's set.
slightly
They
above
had-
average,
Yes.
good foot strikers at the time. They don't have anything that
But funny
close.
is that they don't do bad
What
at
they
the
have
World
now
Cup.
is
They don't do bad
Christian
at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah,
America. That's who they have now. and we know he struggles to stay fit.
Yeah, man,
Right.
he's not in number 9.
And he's not in number 9 as well, even though they look to him to make everything happen.
Yeah.
So Folarin going there is and for a player in his position, right? I think it's a very he finds himself I think in a very good position in the sense that going with the US also aligns with the fact that I think his family are more like that's where they live.
Yeah.
His mom and, everything.
And I
that
think
works
he's
perfectly.
thinking about the World Cup in 2026.
Of course. Yeah.
I think
Come on,
he's thinking
definitely.
about the
I
World Cup.
think it was
people
it was
like
a
Tammy
very,
will be wondering, come on, we've not been able to go to the World
Exactly,
Cup,
yeah.
and I don't think they will.
I get really frustrated every time I see Tammy Tammy and Fikayo play. For the Italian club, I get really frustrated.
Live and die by your decisions,
No,
my
I
bro.
understand the decision they took, and I think I'm sure they would have thought about it and felt it was the best decision.
True.
But I'm just imagining
for a
Tammy
football reason.
and Victor Osimhen up front.
Yeah.
I just
pair
think
them.
I think about
Are they pairable?
I think about both of them
Yeah.
up front. I think about Fikayo in our defense.
Yeah.
And people, many years ago, not many years, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago,
Yeah.
Rufai used to talk about Fikayo, and I never saw Fikayo like that. I never thought it was. Sometimes
I always tell
adversity,
people, give me respect in this
adversity
game.
sometimes brings out the best out of players. When you see an English kid, leave a place that is an old stomping ground for him and go to a different culture, different language, different food, and walk into that place and make that place his own. You gotta respect that player.
Yeah.
No, I think
find it
it's
very hard.
It's
And
more.
I say that quite boldly. Central defenders in England, I find it very hard to find a player who at the moment is better than that boy.
In England,
In England,
English players.
English players.
Yeah,
find-
they're
I
not.
find it very hard because sometimes
not
you talk
many.
about pure defending, understanding, being in position. That boy is a leader.
No, but if you look at it, I think
At
it's
the
actually
moment.
because when you look at that, that position.
The person where they talk
Maguire.
about. Person
You look
go
at
John
say-
Maguire,
Stones.
John
person
Stones,
go say
Ben
na-
White,
Ben
na
White.
Maldini.
Ben Mee.
who else? The guys at Brighton who haven't even they've
But
never been able to get into the
I
English
think, I
team.
think it is just overexcited about.
No,
Tomori.
I'm
No,
not
but it's not-
excited.
what-
Stop
what
it.
he's saying-
No, stop
what-
it. Stop it. No,
he's-
stop it.
he's-
Stop it.
you
Stop
are saying
it.
he's
No,
the
no,
best
let's
player.
him- let's
Stop it.
let's
You see,
hear
I'm
let's
overexcited.
hear
I'm not.
let's hear his
Overexcited
counter.
that
Yes,
word.
no,
Let's
you are
hear his
saying-
counter.
you are
answer.
saying- You are saying Tomori is the best.
He didn't
No,
say
he's
he's
not
the
saying
best.
he's the best.
To be honest,
IBK, now all of us there. When he
don't
talk say
understand
he's
it.
the
Wait
best.
first,
Bro,
to be honest,
make I speak for Yoruba.
I did not know that it was Tomori was talking about. My thought was that maybe it was Maldini or one great defender like that.
Oh my man, IBK.
No, I don't say that Tomori. Baba, Tomori is
How many
is
times
decent. Okay.
Forget the Champions League. How many times have you watched Tomori in the past 2 years?
I'll pick Maguire over Tomori in the national team.
Jesus.
In the national team, I'll do that easily.
Okay.
I'm
maybe
sorry.
national team.
That's what I'm saying. I'll do that easily in the national team.
You're
Thank you.
Gareth Southgate.
Well, so I think it's a good decision for Folarin Balogun. And then if you look at it from
celebrate
the
you.
angle of England
I don't
as
really
well,
agree with you.
the boy was maybe if Tammy Abraham had the option of USA, he wouldn't have chosen England.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Very
but
possible.
So here's the thing. This is another wake
you
up
know,
for our people in
Rate
NFF.
was like that.
Yeah, this is another wake
I
up
think
for.
it's not good
So-
enough. Saka,
so
why
Lakule
Saka they play?
there.
Why Saka
Lakule-
they play?
No, who is
Why-
not good
why
enough?
Saka they play for
Folarin
England?
Balogun.
He
No,
wanted to make a point.
No, he's talking about Tammy Abraham, and he's saying that
Yeah,
this.
but he wanted to
if,
make a point.
if Tammy is good enough,
Yes.
I think he would get.
There's
That's
no
another
there's no
conversation.
with
striker.
Ga-
yes.
with,
wanted
Ga-
to make
with
it-
Gareth
Yes.
Southgate,
There's no
I
striker.
think he would have a chance.
There's no
because
striker-
someone like Saka is obvious. If you mention England's first starting lineup, Saka will be there.
If Saka is not playing, who are the people competing for that position?
If Saka is not playing,
in that position.
Who are the people
I
competing
think
for that position?
Foden can play that position.
Who else?
Sterling can play that position. Rashford can play that position.
Sterling.
Wait, let him
Rashford.
finish. Let him finish.
Yeah.
Those last two you mentioned like to play on the left. They don't like to play on the
Play on
left.
the
They
right.
can- they
That's
can-
one.
they can-
They can
can
do
play.
it. We are
They can
talking
put a
people
job.
that's that position.
In
Are
that
they better than
position.
Saka in the position? Can they compete with Saka in
the
the
point
position?
is, if Tammy Abraham is actually really, really good.
No, the
I
point
think-
is
I
bench Harry
no.
Kane.
He will
That's
get-
a point.
will
Not
bench
necessarily
Harry Kane.
bench, not necessarily
IBK,
bench, but
that's a point
but
you
he'll
have
be a
made.
good backup.
But there's no
Baba,
backup
that's
for
a
England.
point you have made. What you also need to then follow that up with is he's a number 9. There's Harry Kane, there's Jamie Vardy, there's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Who else have I not mentioned? There are quite a
Callum
number of
Wilson.
them. There's Callum Wilson.
I
There's
mean,
Ivan
Now,
Toney
you're
now.
not getting my
There's-
point.
What is the? You are saying that if he was good enough,
if Tammy was
of
good enough,
which-
if
yeah.
Tammy
of
was,
which-
if Tammy was everything,
Yeah.
I don't think you can put him out of that team. If he's actually everything. Now you made
you
mention of
compared
Saka.
him with Saka.
Now you made mention.
That's the,
I'm saying
that's the fault in your argument.
Saka has gone above everyone. That's why you can see him play every
Saka
time.
has
but
only
what
one
position?
real competitor, Phil Foden, in that position,
Yeah.
and Phil Foden doesn't even play regularly at City. That's the only real competitor in that position. The other ones are just them fit play there.
Tammy,
You don't
Tammy-
feel-
and
Tammy-
if we
you don't
really
feel
want
Tammy
to-
is that good.
If we
That's-
really,
that's the
if we really
truth.
want to look at it,
I
honestly,
don't feel Tammy is that good.
honestly,
I'm
if
sorry.
we really want
That's
to
not
look
even
at
the point.
If we really want to look at this Saka situation, I don't think Saka has a competitor. Phil Foden,
Does
if you
he?
ask him,
Doesn't
you
even
ask
want
Phil-
to play on the
He
right.
wants to
Say-
play number 10.
He wants to play number 10.
He doesn't want to play that.
Don't come and make
Saka
isolated
is the
conversation
only player
arguments.
in that position, in that that inverted left footer playing that inverted position. He's the only player in that position, left foot, who
Yes.
likes to play on the right. that
Exactly.
England has.
Exactly.
He's the only
It's-
one.
no,
Phil
you are
Foden
not-
plays
no,
there
you are
because he wants to be in the
See,
team.
my
But
brother-
he
Can I
has-
ask a
brother,
question?
my
Can I ask
brother,
a
you're not
question?
getting
Can I
the
ask a
point.
question? Can I ask a
Okay,
question?
okay.
As good as Saka has been,
Yeah.
if Riyad Mahrez was English, do you think Saka will have a free pass at that
chance.
position?
No chance.
Can't you understand what
No
I'm saying?
chance.
See,
No
see,
chance.
My point
Come on.
is,
And I like
it
Saka.
won't be as bad for Tammy to not even make the squad.
I have
His
named
choice.
I have named the
His
number
choice.
of people
You
that
know-
are competing
you
for
know
the same
national
position.
team.
In your
And
opinion,
I'm
Jide,
saying that
there's a
Rufai,
guy-
and I'm saying that if he's actually that good,
Hold on, no
I don't
shout,
think
no
they
shout, talk am
would
slowly.
they would drop him.
the fault in your argument is you compared it with
National
Saka.
team.
That's
National
the fault
team.
in your argument. You compared it with Saka.
National team.
National team is about choices.
True.
A manager can decide. How many of us sit here and say, why is Harry Maguire playing in the national team when he's not
There's
good
not.
enough?
If I was speaking a strict team, Maguire doesn't play in it. I'm
For
sorry.
United.
How many times? But the manager thinks, I've got a team. And in fairness to Maguire, every time he's played for the national team, he hasn't looked that bad.
Yeah.
Because he's got the trust of the manager. The
Because
manager
he's playing in a system.
Yeah, the manager chooses
Three at the back.
3 at the back.
Senior
And
man
all-
can play in a 3 at the back.
Yeah, he does.
And the choices of a manager with national team isn't, you can't read too much because there's a guy back in the day who used to play for Bayern Munich. He's a legend at Bayern Munich, Giovanni Elba.
Senior man.
Giovanni
Was
Elba
at Lyon before now.
Was at Lyon.
Senior
Giovanni
man.
Elba was a
Daddy.
goal-scoring machine.
Yeah, it was. Used to
Goal
have this.
scoring.
Used to have this thing that I used to wear. This
Goal,
neck warmer
goal-scoring machine. Couldn't play for the national team. Another one, Mario Jardel. Mario Jardel scored goals for Sporting Lisbon like he wanted to die. But national team, now Ronaldo we know.
Yes.
If you like, score 3,000 goals. Now Ronaldo will play.
Yeah, national
So-
teams are like that.
So national team is choices. You can't come and say, oh, so Elba was not that good now. How do you expect Elba to play against
Okay,
over
now
Ronaldo?
let me throw this
so
question. Do you think-
that
do you think if
comparison
Tammy- do you think-
with
do you think
That's what
national
I've been
team
telling him.
doesn't
Okay,
work.
When you say that
Rufai,
if Tammy
doesn't
was
work.
that good,
Rufai.
he would have been
shouldn't have used
bad.
Saka.
You compared with Saka. That's the fault in your argument. If you
You
say,
wanted to ask a question.
if Tammy was that good, he would have made the team.
But wait,
That's true now
There's a
because if you
question.
were better
I'll
than
answer
every
your
other
question.
person,
Okay,
that's
fine.
fact. But you now compared it
Now,
with
now,
Saka's position,
now,
and it's
okay.
not the same.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll make another point. If Saka scores 40 goals a season, do you think he'll be overlooked?
In
what position?
Without 40 goals, he's not overlooked. What are you saying?
Sorry,
Gogo?
Tammy Abraham, not Saka. Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, but that's, what you just said is just what I just said now.
Tammy
I
Abraham.
just said now that if you had mentioned in isolation, say
That-
if Tammy was that good,
He will make
there's
the
no way
team.
we'll make the team. That's fact.
Yeah.
Because if you are better than everybody, you make the team.
You make the team.
If you score 40 goals and the other people don't do as well, you make the team.
so
but
I
you
want-
compared.
the funny
So
thing
I
is
want
that
all of
the
us to
funny-
agree.
the
I want
funny
all of us to
thing-
agree
But
here
you know how it
that
became-
Tammy is not good enough
No,
to make that score.
that one are your own.
You get that? You understand?
Now that one on my
your
own.
own.
But I don't
But-
that one on my
but
own
you know,
now.
You know that if you like, it's just like Arteta and Zinchenko and Tierney are the craze sometimes with this decision. Arteta prefers Zinchenko because he thinks Zinchenko helps in building the transition. I prefer Tierney because Tierney is a
Can
defender.
defend, yes.
He's a proper defender. If Tierney like make he slide,
Make it take head defense.
make he carry his head, they won't shoot shot. He carry his head. When Zinchenko is fit, Zinchenko will play.
Arteta will play, yeah.
See, if Tammy like, make he score 50 goals. If the manager prefers Harry Kane,
Yep.
Harry Kane scored 12 goals in a season. Tammy scored 40. If the manager prefers Harry Kane, he will play Harry Kane.
He will play Harry Kane in the
So,
national team.
at
National teams are like
team,
that.
You cannot. National teams are managers have players they trust. Lacazette couldn't play for the national team.
No, that one is. I think there was.
Lacazette was no, it's
That
not.
one is not- no, that
It's
one
not.
there was
the
issues.
manager
Less
prefers
issues with the
the
manager.
the manager prefers Olivier Giroud.
But that one
Because
we
he
had issues with
was-
manager.
who?
I think Lacazette.
Lacazette no get issue with Bayern. Now Benzema get issue with
The
everybody in the
manager,
national team.
Benzema get issue. Lacazette no get issue.
There's this
Ben-
But he
player.
could not get into the team.
I'm trying to
Lacazette
remember
was
his name.
scoring
He doesn't
goals.
play. He was playing for Leeds. Then now he's in City. Is it Calvin Phillips or something?
Calvin
Phillips.
That guy plays for England.
Yeah.
They-
Do you
He
understand?
went to the World Cup now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the
On
only
what
reason
basis?
he
Julian,
did
so
not play at that World Cup was because he was just recovering from injury.
he would have played.
If he was sitting on the bench at City and was playing 10 minutes all season, when they go to the World Cup, he will play.
As a matter
That guy
of fact,
doesn't have. I doubt if he has 1 hour of football this season.
this season in the build up to the World Cup,
Normally, the guy.
Maguire was as shit as you can as
The guy
any
no fit bench
player.
Rodri.
The manager
That's
says,
exactly-
I'm
he
not
says
him.
that's my guy.
He got
I'm
to the
going
World
with
Cup
him.
at the
So
end.
national team, don't
Right.
when you talk club comparisons, you can say, okay, he can't get in his team, he's not good enough. But when it's national team, it's
It's
a
not
different
just that, yeah.
conversation.
It's a different
entirely.
conversation. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations
I hope
guys
we've schooled
to
you.
Folarin
About this one,
Folarin
you
Balogun
don't talk. You don't
for
say me, I
the
no go
US
agree. I
national
just
team,
don't-
and then
I don't will continue with them.
yeah. So we
finish show, no gree.
we dovetail
For now, you're
into
quiet.
other conversations now. I mean, I was just going to mention a point with earlier about this national team thing. It really hurts when Tammy Abraham and Fikao decided to choose England. I was one of the guys who were saying back then I'm big about patriotism and stuff. But I'm still big on patriotism. But one of the things that opened my eyes was that when we were in the Afro Sports studios for the Nations Cup, one of the things they did one of the things I've enjoyed when I do live football, when I present live football in live studio, is that they bring some ex-internationals. Some of them you're like, okay. And then sometimes they also bring another people that they are like profound. The last time at the Nations Cup, they brought John Fashanu.
Yeah.
John Fashanu has over 100 career English goals in the PL, in the Premier League. He has over 100 goals, in the English football. And he sat me down. We're going to do a show.
Yeah,
that
I was on set with him once. It was a good time.
The show was going to start at 11. He sat me down. We got in there like 9 or 10. So he sat me down to explain some things.
Yep.
And then he
Did
was
the
like,
same with me.
it was like, the people said, do you want to play for Nigeria? He didn't want to do this. That when he came back to Nigeria, they were calling him names like Agbaya, like Ode, because he didn't understand what he meant. The likes of Henry Wosu, I can mention his name now because, of course, it's in the past. But they were, in a way, insulting and making him very uncomfortable.
He said, the players.
The players, they didn't like him.
Oh,
the fact that they saw it, because they said the leadership of the NFF then didn't really like him. But the president at that time kind of just have a liking for him and then ask him to just come around and just show stuff. But people don't know the story, so they hate him for not playing for Nigeria. So and I asked him a question that whenever they say one player has 300 caps, that are they actually caps? He said yes.
Yeah, they are.
That they're actually caps. Like they will give you a cap.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not sure we have that in Super Eagles. I'm not
No,
sure.
we don't. We don't. I don't think it's a tradition
they give
here,
you a
but
cap.
abroad they do it.
And then the fact that he played, I think he played just 3 or 4 games for the Three Lions.
For the Three
And then
Lions.
he said he has some kind of pension. He was mentioning
Yeah,
it.
of course.
This pension, that pension. He had
get
injury
pension.
in Wimbledon. He had injury in Wimbledon for like some couple of months, the English FA was playing part of his salary
Of
and
course.
stuff.
Of
and
course.
a lot of those stuff was happening, and then you still want him to choose Nigeria. So
To come and do what?
So after that,
Even
I
now
was
your brother,
I was
you go
crossed.
tell him, make
I was crossed with
Is it for
Fikayo
Gary?
Tomori and Tammy Abraham for making that decision. Then later, I now met John Fashanu. After he schooled me that this is what you get if you play in some saner climes. This one. Do you know how many Super Eagles stars have gotten injured on national duty that we move on to the next one?
And that's bearing in mind.
In fact,
And
we
that's
talk-
bearing in mind that back then it wasn't like this.
It wasn't
where
even like this.
You play club football, cash out, have enough money, and say, you know what, I don't mind. I'll play for that country. There's no problem. It wasn't. They were not earning this much at the time. So that you needed to be sure
We really need to
what
fix
you're
up.
doing with your career.
Like, I don't know what the plan is, but anybody in the NFF who is listening, please, can they help us and go to the family of Ebere Chieze and Olise and beg these
I think those
people?
ones are made up already.
No, I don't think they should. I don't think.
I think they can be convinced.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should.
I don't
parents-
like
the parents
us
said it
begging any
already.
player.
I think they can be
But please,
convinced.
let's beg Eberechi.
Eberechi is in a ball.
Brother, the same thing
As in,
happened with,
I don't like us begging
Victor,
players.
what's that name again?
I know an agent
Uh.
in the UK that said, if not that we didn't make the World Cup, Eberechi had already made up his mind to play for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Do you know
So
that?
World Cup was the
Do you know
standard.
that? Of
Yeah,
course,
you dey-
of course.
whine you.
You know,
Do you know
May
Lamptey?
get out,
Do you know
abeg. Na
Lamptey where
Messi
they
or-
Ghana?
na Messi or
Lamptey.
Ronaldo.
What's the
Eberechi,
name of that boy? Atletico
he's
Bilbao.
the
He signed 8 years.
Eberechi, if you watch this, he's the one who said
Ina
get out.
Williams.
Inaki Williams.
He went to Ghana to play World Cup. Are you joking me? Do you know that there's a
His
boy
brother played for Spain.
in this under 17? In this under 17, they just finished. There's one boy who wears jersey number 12. I don't know his name.
For Nigeria?
Yes, under 17. I was watching it at home. Small boy. That's the closest thing we had to hybrid of Mikel and Okocha. Let them
But that's high
them
praise.
help us. Exactly.
No.
And for me to say that, and you know me,
Baba,
I'm
you know
very
the- you know the
critical.
funny thing, you know
I'm not
the-
saying he's the next.
That
to-
boy, I'm
please.
just saying that boy is I'm sorry, but he might go back to the trenches.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Because,
you know,
because
That's the
no
shame.
competition now.
because
That's
now,
the shame.
because
As
now,
we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked
because
about
now,
it. with the fight.
Ebere Chieze, brother, is the closest thing to a midfielder, a proper attacking midfielder we have. We don't have anything. Do you know Kunle?
no, we
Finally-
don't
no, we
disrespect
don't.
Let
my
me
boy,
drop
oh.
this. Let me
You
drop
don't
this.
disrespect- I no go take him.
Who be
I
that?
no go take him.
Who be the boy? Sorry.
Alexander.
He will be.
Alexander.
Okay. He will be.
He
Move
will
like
be.
this.
He will be.
Do you know now we're mentioning
Who be
strikers.
that fullback? Oh?
You know, see that striker we did mention. If you notice, Baba, Ini, you know, you guys were mentioning some strikers now that Lakunle was saying, oh, this is Nigeria, but they were all strikers. Mention one midfielder. Like
For
one
Nigeria.
midfielder. Yes, like a midfielder. I'm not saying all this.
No,
like a
We're
midfielder.
actually very light there.
are very
light.
light.
Brother,
One
we are
midfielder,
not,
we
we are not
big,
very
big, big.
light. We are non-existent.
Wait, bim.
Yes.
One midfielder, better one.
You dey Chris. I will
Alex
slap you.
Alexander Iwobi.
It will be.
Oh, you were saying Didi?
I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed with Iwobi.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I see. Let's see. Sometimes we need to come to a place where, at the end of the day, football in our country is a reflection of the entire country.
Of course.
You know, but
Word.
one thing is clear, right? We don't have a plan.
My brother, this your ring. Fine, no. Make I just see. I just to
This
see am,
this
my
plan
guy.
way we
You
fight
see,
it.
you see
you
if
go
I go
talk-
give you this ring, you see that Spanish way you talk for beginning of the show.
You go tell me
You see the
wetin
way
you mean.
if you go Waso and the Kwamwan, if you go a party, if Kwamwan start to dey sing your praises, you go spend all your money.
True.
If you want make I give you this ring, now that Spanish you
I
go
go
use.
talk again, mate.
Yes, sir. Luckily refine. You go praise me in Spanish. I go just call my dealers. Even they bring like 5 rings.
5.
So the truth is that we don't have it. We see this thing. It is actually very sad. In the and I spoke about this thing on radio. We don't have a plan. We don't have a plan. When these boys that went to this last under 17, we saw praises online that man, these boys are
They're actually young.
really young.
Yeah.
Some of them secondary schools, and they've gone to the AFCON under 17. They haven't made it to the World Cup. What we're essentially saying is that the next AFCON that comes under 17, these boys are gone. So majority of those boys, we might not hear
They're back
them
to the
again.
academy, bro. That's the reality.
So majority of those boys,
even
we
the
might not.
coaches also.
Wait, though.
It's not sacked. They don't give them contract.
So
Most times, I think it's based on
majority of those boys.
based on
Man, no
tournaments
man.
where you go and all those.
So
kind of
majority of those boys,
don't
we
go
might not
starting.
hear them again. And you remember we talked about this. It is Solis. Big shout out to him. Put out a very nice article that articulates very well. It's unfortunate that we're telling 15, 16, 14-year-olds that they only have one chance, one shot at a career at the highest level of football, because that's what it means. Because they haven't made it to the World Cup, they are gone. We most likely won't hear a lot about it.
Like Boss said, I was talking to someone who works with, like, who is in charge of, he has this link with players, and it was like, I heard, I don't know if it's true, that, you know, at times most of these underage tournaments, you need to talk to the coach. When I mean talk, you know, there has to be exchange. You get. So
Not
the guy,
sometimes, almost all the time.
so the guy was now like, I realized that, okay, you spent all the money to take your boy to the under-17. Now they did not go to the World Cup. So what happens?
To what ends?
To what end? So the guy now told me that this is what a lot of them now do. They don't invest in that one anymore, because I think since the MRI and other technology, you know, started, Nigeria has been struggling in every age grade tournament. And we all know the reason. We know why this thing is true.
Yeah.
So it was like he had rather spend that money on connecting his players abroad than going through the under. Because it was so easy. People like Osimhen, people like Iheanacho, they will tell you that that's what changed their career, and they were lucky enough to play at the World Cup. But now that we practically use real under-17, if you ask most of these boys, you will see it from the way they play. I tell you that if you go abroad for trials and you say you are 16 and you don't do schoolboy errors, you are making them understand that, you know,
facts,
you are 20, you are 16.
Real
Yes,
they see a lot of errors, a lot of defensive errors,
you cross ball like Beckham.
God, my brother, you see that? Can you remember that year?
And you say it be 14.
Wait, now.
They cross. You don't
Can you remember that year?
Free kick.
Wait.
Ball is bad. You bang.
God rest the soul. God rest the dead. I am not interested in talking bad about the dead, right? Can you remember the Mitchell boys?
Yeah.
When a certain senior man hit the ball from the middle of the field and he hit the bar, I said, this is not 16-year-old. I'm not trying to whine you.
No, that's the truth.
That is almost impossible.
Yes.
Bros, no worry yourself. Me, I don't play ball.
Brother,
That's almost
to be honest,
impossible.
for United,
a real 16-year-old carry normal tournament ball, shoot am from the middle. When I start to play ball, I get one coach, Bros Friday, where they train to go abroad. One of the things he used to do on Saturdays after training, he will put our goalkeeper in the post. So he go to shoot long range, free kick, shot, all those things. And this bros, what they tell you, now senior man, now our coach. He dey train to travel.
Nah, 20-something years.
He dey whine me. The person na senior man, say na 20-something years.
If you reach 30,
So when you come tell me say 15, 16-year-old pull ball for middle of field, no be say na dead ball o. Match dey go on.
Against the
Then just pass to am, he just control the ball, just launch am. You know the kind dog wey dey inside you to do that kind of thing.
Guy, to be honest,
No,
like Foleke, when our coach they recruit.
I don't mention any name.
No mention. When our coach they recruit secondary school boys. So me I dey tell am say, Baba, say these boys go fit compete for NLO. So the bros they tell me say, the same say we go mix them. Say now wetin go help with that. Mixing means that some players maybe 21,
Don't put this
you
out.
know, 20 and all those things. You know, if you mixing like 21, 20 can play NLO.
Yeah,
too.
no,
So now whenever these boys play, I over complain. I tell the, you know, I get too carried away and I said, coach, remove this boy.
you're not interested in building.
So the coach now tell me that. The coach now tell me that. The coach now tell me that. Do you know that this is what the white guys want to see? They want to see schoolboy error, but they want to see your intention. They want to see what you have upstairs.
This is how said it's true.
That your leg
when I
cannot
went
carry.
to the very first time Aspire Africa came to Africa.
My younger brother. It was
very
Aspire
first time
Africa.
Aspire Academy came to Africa. The very first screening they did in Africa. I went for that screening. You see, that time they told us how they needed 13, 14, 15-year-olds. And I remember when we went for the very first part of the screening, it was 11 against 11. So they would then pick 1 11 out of that Do you understand? So it was 11 against 11. Then they will pick 111 out of that.
Like 111 or they could mix just.
Of
11
course,
players.
they will mix. So
Okay.
11 against 11, then they will pick players that they want.
Okay.
A full team out of the two teams. You understand? And that 11-11 against 11 was for 10 minutes. What can you see in 10 minutes?
As in,
So they're not looking for you to be Ronaldo in those
Yes.
10 minutes. They came looking for 14, 13-year-olds. They're looking for
the schoolboy error,
little
now they
knowledge.
find, I
Oh,
swear.
is there something there?
I swear.
How you showing up for the ball when your teammate has the ball?
go see say-
Those are little things. Oh, you make your errors. So they're not looking for you to be
Normal.
Ronaldo. You understand? So what he's saying is absolutely
correct.
spot on. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So we need to fix up. I get tired of talking about it, but we have no choice. Some of us, not all of us, are big on believing that there's a greener pasture elsewhere, because we got to fix this as well. You know, if we can jabba, we jabba. If we can't jabba, we fix up. But we need to fix up. Bottom line, that was on the lighter mode. Well, it was not light when the FA came out to say that, hey, gentlemen, for your lovely betting love,
For being
and
senior
skills,
man in your bond.
senior for you loving betting, go
for
and
you,
cool
for
off.
you saying banger for every match.
Banger 232 times.
Go and cool off 8 months. You know, Ivan
But
Toney.
when he enter, I know they talk.
Go
You know,
Go open shop.
When they enter a banger.
I sit down here say Monaco to score 2 goals against PSG. And I know
Banger
Banger.
don't bang.
go play 2-2.
Well,
1.95.
Baba Habeg, now you dey cook all these sauce. I didn't remember.
Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, alter ego be ini. Ini and Ivan Toney, then sabi each other. Because I don't understand why footballer that guy feel they bet on himself. Ivan Toney to score.
Yeah.
I
As in,
me to
But
score today.
it might be addiction, to be honest. They can help him out.
Well,
Might be
very
addiction.
possible, because the counts are actually
For
much.
footballers get really bored.
Might be addiction.
Yeah, it
The
could
life
be
of
that.
a life of a footballer is very boring.
See, guy,
People don't realize that.
it could be addiction. It could be that the life gets boring. But it could also be if you play a lower league football, how much did they get paid? Did you hear the story? Some of them now the money during the pandemic. There were clubs in lower leagues that, because fans couldn't come to the stadium, they can't pay their players.
Yeah.
Some of those players earn as little as $2,000 per week, $2,000 something, and that is basically your
League Two.
rent.
League 2.
I'm not saying League 2. I
Okay.
said
No,
lower
because,
leagues.
Because in League 2, League 1, boys are earning £800 a week, 1,700.
You understand?
Not that much.
Not that much. So if
that's
he
where
be
you
say,
came from.
you get, if he be say that was where the thing started building from.
Yeah, true.
You understand? To when you now get to championship or whatever, or wherever they got
start-
it from.
start
earning
So
better.
Exactly. So it could be that this is how we
Possible.
make money. Despite
But
the
you
fact
guys,
that we
but
play
you guys,
But is
think
it that
it's-
the guy they always bet on himself?
but-
Or?
no,
No, if you are
just-
playing, if you are playing in
Remember
the
Daniel
league,
Sturridge?
there are
It's not
rules
so
by the
much to
FA.
be.
Remember Daniel
They must
Sturridge?
not
Daniel
so much.
Sturridge, got suspended for, I think it was 6 months.
Yeah.
And that Daniel Sturridge's own was that he told his brother to bet on him leaving, I think it was Liverpool to a certain
something
club,
like that.
to Sevilla or something. The deal didn't happen actually, but he told his brother to bet that he was going to sign for. But it's just staggering, for a
How they will
footballer.
take trades, all those kinds.
No, they can trade.
they will.
See,
Now, where you dey weigh records, no day for anything.
But I feel use one person, another person phone now.
but that's possible as well,
Nah, this
but na
Naija
risk.
way you dey, na make you dey reason this.
Na risk, But 8 months, it's a lot of time for Choi to be out of for football. But I think good for him is like 24, 25.
Feels like it's a lot, Sha.
yeah,
26, okay.
20,
But-
Feels like 8 months is a
My
lot.
mom be saying me just reason for it.
People
See,
pay-
you can't
people
trade
pay-
for the first 4 months.
People pay
the
fines.
best thing for him is just reason that he has ACL or something.
People pay fines
Just-
for racial.
yeah,
Just
people
reason
pay
it's like
fines for
injury or
racist,
something.
comments and
That's
stuff.
that's the surprising thing.
yeah.
Somebody racially abuses somebody,
Yeah, you get fined.
criminal,
They pay 20 something K fine.
and then you
Moving
pay
on.
fine. Somebody pushes a referee slightly, gets 8
How many
match
months
ban.
did Suarez get for biting?
I
Months.
think it was 8
games.
months too.
It was
Was
8
it
months. K.
7 months? It was
7
months.
months.
It was
K.
months.
It was
too.
matches.
No,
It was just a few matches.
It was matches.
No,
13 games or 8
for the
games.
8 games.
Biting was what?
Biting 8 games.
You know, there was
He
one
didn't
from
even-
Ajax.
he did-
Racial ban was 8 games. Patrice Evra.
Yeah,
Yes.
8
Yeah,
games.
but
I
biting.
don't know the biting.
The biting was 8 games in
Ajax.
In
Was it
Ajax.
No, the one.
No, the World Cup biting now. Chiellini Chiellini biting. Let me check it.
Wait,
That guy don't bite too
now.
many people in life. You don't even know.
Wait,
That's
bite
why.
Chiellini.
But he's
So
too
yeah, I just feel like
talented to be
maybe
that way.
Tony could
We'll
Tony
confirm
could
that, though.
appeal
We'll
and maybe
confirm
get a few months knocked off.
Now the thing is, FA are now telling FIFA.
See now, Uruguay
Yeah.
striker banned for 4 months.
He's got 4 months.
4 months.
Chiellini.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So yeah,
I think
Ivan
anybody that
Toney,
wants it should go and buy
I
him
think he's an
anyway.
amazing.
Yeah, of course.
He's an
Of course.
amazing.
And he
his
was
numbers
banned
are
for
impressive.
10 matches too for biting Branislav Ivanovic.
Ivanovic.
The
Yeah,
one
yeah,
almost
Ivanovic.
Suarez bite well.
Baba.
But all these times, why still score a lot of
Suarez.
goals in the league?
Suarez now.
Well, isn't they banned him that he missed games that he broke the record?
Suarez now.
He got the dog in him.
Suarez.
Literally.
Shout out to the brand, but I think Suarez is the ultimate super bite. Nah, him
I see what
gong
you did there.
Nah, him gong be the
Oh,
super
God,
bite.
the super bite.
Right. So guys, this is the reason why 2 people came to this show. And it's not me.
Can
They
I
are
excuse
seated-
myself? I need to use the
They are
restroom.
seated across each other. We are even getting to that one. It's not even that one yet, but we are almost there to that one. Right, but this
I
one
won't use the
unfolded.
restroom, then go like
You
that.
unfolded right before our very eyes
I
this
said it,
particular
yeah.
week.
Before they say they get chance, I talk am for you.
Obviously, the mother of all
Can
leagues,
you shut the
UEFA
fuck
Champions League,
Say football heritage.
started in
When
June.
football heritage meet better
Let this
football.
man
Started
talk
in
now.
June.
Idiot, you my boy. Oshe ST, the better footballer. Oshe ST.
Football heritage don't finally meet better football.
You can't do that like this.
Ogbonge football.
Menace to the society. I swear.
You should be locked up.
Menace to the society.
You should be locked up.
You don't beat Ogbonge football.
He don't be waiting pass am.
Ogbontarigi football.
No, Tari.
Right.
Modric won die.
Ala Madrid.
Madrid did the. I love Madrid did the.
Wahala Madrid.
Madrid.
Right. I think.
Say Hala Madrid don't turn to Madrid Hala.
They thought. I think one of the interesting things is what somebody said. When Rooney said, since we're gonna pick apart, Real Madrid. So-
He said blue.
blew
He
them
did-
away.
Yeah, it blew them away. So
And
it
they-
didn't happen in the first leg, but it
Yeah,
did happen in the second
They
leg.
literally did.
And we all saw it. I think let's just. This is how I want us to go through this conversation, right? I'll just come to you guys. I ask you different questions, but please, by all means, don't enter another person's thoughts because this thing, last one, you reach podcast itself. This particular matter alone. Let me start with IBK though. I won't say what went wrong, for Real Madrid because we all saw it. We all saw what went wrong, But from a Real Madrid angle, will Ancelotti look in the mirror and be like, I cost that for my team? Or City were just out of this world?
I think playing City, you need to be very, very good, and you also need to have
Leave the boy.
and you also need to have something more like luck when you play. And I said the same thing before this game. I said the only reason Madrid went past City last season was the fact that there was serious. What do I call it? Is it lack of concentration? Because City blew them away in that tie. That's if we want to be honest, City played so well in that second leg, and they lost it all.
It's second leg last season, right?
Yes. To
I
be
thought
honest,
so too.
everyone
I thought
They
so
played
too.
so well.
They
but
played
they-
so
but
well.
they didn't blow
we
anybody
got
away.
we
They
got
didn't
we
blow
got
the
carried
ball,
away.
but played so well.
We got carried away by the fact that
Was we?
a lot of us, Madrid. That's why we were hoping same thing will happen again. And I said that Pep doesn't make a mistake twice against if it's like a team like Madrid that he knows their history very well. That first leg was a tactical masterclass, and the point was he did not want to lose at the Bernabeu. He got the much needed result. He didn't even make any sub. And I was saying if he made sub in that first leg, he would have won that game. But he wanted to be very conservative. And playing at the Etihad, I said it again that looking at the way Madrid have struggled all through the season, they've always enjoyed this fact that they play badly in the league. They try to get something from the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League, they become a monster. Baba, you go get, if they be monster every season.
Monster Face is Tom Predator.
Yes, it was so obvious that I don't know why people did not see that City were going to honestly beat Real Madrid. Baba, if you play that game again, that same result, to be honest, that same result will happen.
It could be worse.
And the fact is that they made, like someone said that, I remember when Ancelotti was talking about Ronaldo, that a Ronaldo that did not score in a game is a Ronaldo that plays the next game that did not score is crazier than, like, he was saying that someone that did not score, you don't want to meet him again. So it was him that happened with Pep. Pep knew, you already gave Pep expo that, come, we are a team that can always come back. And Pep's masterclass is when he tries to be conservative, hold on to the ball as much as you can hold on, pass the ball around, enjoy your game, and you get result. And imagine it was last season. I'm sure Pep, that second leg, that second half of yesterday's game, Madrid were almost like, bringing it at them.
Yeah.
If you notice the second half. And that was because Man City had in their head that these guys can come back. Let's not push forward again. If you notice, they had only about 2 players outside their own half. That was because they wanted to be conservative. They were now doing the Madrid style of, let's run them on the counter. Since Madrid will come at them in the second half. So it's like you gave Pep expo that, okay, this is what we do. I don't want to make that same mistake again. Okay. Bro, if I'm to put everything I have before that game, I'll put it for City to win.
So what
There's
you're saying,
nothing.
So what you're saying in essence is that after City scored 2 or 3, they went conservative.
No, 2-0.
No, that second half, it was very obvious.
Yeah, in second half,
even this guy was saying it.
No, we thought Pep doesn't do things like that.
Come on.
No, that's the thing.
But you don't learn.
He don't learn.
Everybody, they learn something.
That's the thing. He don't learn. Yes.
When you come to England is a place where you learn football again, actually. And when they say the Premier League is the best league in the world, it's because Pep does not know how he's beaten Arsenal 3-1 at the Emirates. And the next game he's drawing 1-1 at Nottingham Forest. That's what the Premier League does to you. So that thing they say anybody can beat anybody is actually reality.
True.
And that's what the Premier League has done to him. Pep has always been a purist. I stand by.
Yeah, he's going to play like that in the end. That was why they lost that game last season.
I'm playing, this is how I do things. But in the second half yesterday, IBK is perfectly right. In the second half, it looked like
yes, now he did the same thing against Arsenal now.
Yeah.
He did the same thing
so
against
much
Arsenal.
space.
They let them be.
As in, enjoy yourself.
So
you will not create one chance.
You see,
because
I tweeted. After the Arsenal game,
Yeah.
there was something I tweeted. I was like, "This Pep Guardiola is becoming much more like Mourinho."
Yeah,
than
of
people
course.
want to admit.
Of course.
Because Pep
course.
will never. The Pep I knew. You see, the first time I saw traces of that in Pep, there was a particular year. I can't remember
Newcastle.
the year.
I remember the game.
You remember that game?
Newcastle.
Pep brought out a
Newcastle.
midfielder. I brought in
They
Mangala.
were leading 1-0.
And he stood on the touchline and he was telling them,
Launch the ball forward.
kick the ball out. I have never seen Pep do
1-0.
anything
It was
like
at
that.
Newcastle.
They won that game 1-0 against
1-0.
Newcastle. That's true. So, and I've always said this, as a coach, you have to learn. And that's what also I believe that, for example, someone like Arteta will learn from this season.
Of course.
So you have to learn that. I understand that, especially for
You have to respect your
especially for
position.
This
cup
purist
games.
thing, this purist thing doesn't work.
Doesn't. It works it can work in some context, in
Yeah.
some circles. But at some point you need to realize, because games a football match is a game of moments. It doesn't matter how good you are, how better you are than the opposition.
The other team have
they
their
will
moments.
have their moments.
The only way you play purist football from the beginning of the season to the end, see if you have Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta in the team.
And they're playing that thing that they were playing that time.
That's the only way.
And they stay fit.
Because you have 3 players who are technically so good.
Yep.
3 players that when the ball is in with them, the opponent cannot get in.
Yep.
So that's the only way. So when you don't have those players,
And I was
it's
going to
impossible.
say that, you see, first of all, big shout out to Pep with regards to this conversation.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give a special shout out to one man, Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
And the reason is this. We came here last week and, if we're going to give a lot of praise to Vinicius for who Vinicius is now
the
in
numbers
European
and the
football,
assists.
probably the best,
Yeah.
in that
his
position. So when a defender goes and does that, on a Champions League semi-final night, we're supposed to give him the same
Yeah, of course.
level of accolades.
Give him his flowers, man.
That's what I've always talked about.
Brilliant.
As a defender, you have to love it. See, you have to be able to look at an attacker and say, look, they say you are the best in the world.
Yeah.
But
You know
guess
they
what?
pass
I
me
don't
today.
give a
Yeah.
I
I
consign
think he told
me.
him, he said he was trying to rainbow flick him. And
Yeah, he
told
said
him,
don't
I
try,
wanna
don't
be a
try it
meme.
again.
So-
and for
Okay,
Kyle
he
Walker,
told him.
for
Yes,
Kyle
sir.
Walker, people,
I don't want to be a
you
meme,
know,
so don't do that again.
People always say,
A
you know,
meme, rather.
Kyle Walker,
So
you know,
you want him.
loses his
Yes, sir.
position, he lacks
Brazilians
confidence.
don't get respect.
Yeah.
The point is, Kyle Walker in the first leg was too tight to Vinicius, and there were a few times Vinicius flicked the ball and got past him. That's not what he did yesterday.
He allowed him.
Yesterday he sat in his position.
You can't beat me for pace.
He sat in his position and said, every time you get the ball, you are going to have to pass me before you do anything with the
And
ball.
we die here.
And it didn't
Also-
happen. So it was a masterclass
Also,
from Kyle Walker.
Because it was important to give credit to City for how they approach it. I think more importantly, the mentality the players approach the game with. And you know, we talked about this also, that it gets to a point that the players are on the pitch, the coach needs to play with them.
Yeah.
The manager needs to play with them. Understand what is obtainable on the field and say, okay, this is what we need now. So you need to play with them. And I thought the players did what they did with the mentality they approached the game with. Pep absolutely played with them, you know, and all that. But I also wanted to say that from a Madrid point of, you know, this thing, you can't bash Madrid for losing in the semi-final
yeah, of
because
course.
of what they've done
Yeah, of course.
in recent times. But we have to
I see
analyze it anyway.
I see them
yeah.
trudge up the pitch with,
You know,
It's fine.
It's fine.
as in
But
that level of confidence. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we've just lost 4-0.
Yes, we've been there.
But
we've done
nobody's
that.
hanging around,
Yeah.
putting hands
No,
on
it's
their heads.
okay.
On to
We
the
won
next
it.
one.
We won it back
They
to back. So
congratulate the other team.
you understand?
and
Moving
move
on.
Yeah.
You know, but we need
You
to
heard,
analyze it.
you heard what Cabal said.
He said,
He said Man City were
we're the better team.
by far.
Congratulations to them.
He said we'll
Keep
be
it
back in
moving.
the final soon.
We keep it moving. You understand? but I wanted to say that even though that game went like that, is there a possibility that Ancelotti cost that game for Madrid? And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm more concerned about the first 2 goals. After seeing how the first leg went, I'm more concerned about the first 2 goals. Because the way Madrid played the first leg, there was no chance Bernardo Silva would have been in that position with nobody picking him up.
Yeah.
The way they played the first leg. There was no chance Bernardo Silva would have been there. Because in the first leg, I saw a combination of man marking and zonal marking.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I saw a lot of zonal marking. A lot of it. And I think if you are playing against City, especially when City are in that, when they are feeling like that, you see, after the game, a couple players said we feel unbeatable, we feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
When that City team are like that, I feel like if you are playing against them and you're zonal marking, I think you are going to be in trouble.
A lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble.
I think it
Because
shouldn't have.
they've got technical players who.
The way their movements.
City is not a team where you say we're going to allow them space outside it, allow them shoot.
You see
or-
that first goal? That first goal Bernardo Silva scored. What killed it was the movement. Bernardo Silva has been on the right side, left footer. Very difficult for Camavinga. Camavinga had a terrible time keeping quiet. But it was the movement. He started from there, 1-2 touches before you know it was behind Camavinga. And for some reason, Madrid, maybe they didn't know he was there or they decided to step off him. But in my opinion, I was like, why are they're not picking individual players. They're zonal marking. They're moving towards who is with the ball.
Block.
They are moving towards who's with the ball. Why is that? And I also have to say that it's Don Carlo. I can't bash him for it.
Yeah, of course.
It was one of the most, in my opinion, surprising and in my own understanding of the game, ridiculous decision to not start Rudiger.
Rudiger, yeah.
And that's not to say Rudiger has been better than Militao all season. That's not to say it.
So in all fairness, Militao is arguably the best centre back in world football at the moment. Maybe
I'm not a
European
fan of
football.
him. I don't think he's a good defender. He has improved
No,
a lot.
I think he's one of the best in
Trust me.
Europe.
I'm not a fan.
But the biggest problem, let me just chip in. Okay, finish your thoughts, please. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, even if you check, even with a couple Madrid fans, Militao has played ahead of Rudiger all season, even
Yeah.
in the league.
Yeah.
He's been the number 1 choice.
Yeah, with Alaba.
With Alaba, right? But I haven't seen
That performance
that
in the first leg.
leg.
It is.
I think it does, and I know that for a big team, you don't care about what the player thinks. You don't, you know, coaches have preference. I saw a Madrid fan say something about in Real Madrid is a big team. That hierarchy. You know, this is the player that's the first choice. If Militao is fit, it doesn't matter. He's going to play ahead of Rudiger. I get all of that. But it's a semi-final of the Champions League.
One
You're
match.
playing against City. It is one game. when you get to that position, each of those games are finals.
Yeah.
You've played the first leg and you've seen how that first leg has gone. In my opinion, I think it feels naive to then go to the Etihad, right, and decide to change the approach to the game. Because it wasn't just the fact that Rudiger didn't start alone. Like I said, I saw zonal and a mix of man marking in the first leg. In the second leg, it feels like they were moving space. They were moving towards who has the ball.
Yeah.
They were marking spaces. You can't do that against City.
So I, when I see that lineup, when I saw the lineup, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't he sacrifice Camavinga? Why didn't he put Camavinga on the bench? Put Alaba.
Play left back.
Put Alaba at
His
left
natural
back.
position.
Bernard Silva doesn't have a sniff with Alaba at left back. Alaba is a proper left back. That's his stock in trade. He knows how to defend. Bernard Silva doesn't have a sniff because Alaba is not going to get tempted to get out of position. He's going to stick. He's somebody who can do a man-marking job. He will stick to Bernardo Silva. Haaland didn't have a sniff last week. I can't remember if he had a shot on target last week.
But look at the saves Courtois had to make.
Almost scored a hat-trick. Now, it takes my mind back to 2006. And I always say this. It might be capping, but...
Senior man.
When it...
Senior
man, don't they?
Look at they stop this now.
One Gen Z don't they teach senior man.
I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. You don't talk as if you want shave their beard before. So it's coming together. It's coming together.
2006.
That way. You can't blame Militao.
Hold on.
In
2006.
2006. You don't know anything by then. No, hear what senior man won't talk about.
Shots flying everywhere today.
Senior man in 2006.
I love it.
Philip Senderos. Still a record in the Champions League. 9 consecutive clean sheets. No team has gotten near. Boy was playing so well for some reason. You get to a Champions League final, and all of a sudden, you say, oh, Campbell is fit. I play Campbell. Campbell hadn't played 4 or 5 months of football. And he's come back one or 3 weeks to the Champions League final, and you play him ahead of a player who has been part of a bedrock of defense.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So when Rudiger played like that in the first leg, and in his mind he's thinking,
I've given so much.
I'm going to replicate
He went
that
viral. That performance
I'm going
went
to
viral.
replicate that performance in the second leg. All of
a
a sudden, you disrupt a back four that you play the game. Because I understand that thing of, oh, it's a settled team.
I have to mention
For one
also.
match.
I have to mention also because I'm thinking, like I said, it's Don Carlo. I can't bash him. So
Yeah,
I've
of
been
course.
thinking, why has he gone in that direction? So obviously, aside from the fact that Militao has been playing ahead of Rudiger, the approach to the game, I kind of feel like, and it is weird again if that's the case, that Carlo wanted a bit of control. It sounds weird, but it feels like he wanted a bit of control because it feels like whenever they have the ball, he wanted to be able to play as well. Maybe was why
Which you won't blame him for.
Militao can play
Yeah, he can
better
play,
than
yeah.
Rudiger. So let's go because it wasn't just that Rudiger didn't start.
I don't
Their
have a
approach
problem-
was different.
I don't have
from
a
the first
problem
leg.
with Militao playing.
But you know they are away. So
I don't have a
it might
problem
be
with
factor as
Militao
well.
playing.
They are playing away from home. So
Yep.
it might be, the result is still very fair on them. So you don't want to try.
What do you mean? The
I
first
mean,
leg.
I mean
Time
the
of
first
coming
leg.
into the
Oh,
game.
the first leg was. So
And
that's
to be
exactly what
honest-
I'm saying. That why haven't you approached
The same way.
the same way you approached the
Just
game?
stick to it.
Because I saw for a second, I saw when Militao, the way Militao defended against Haaland was completely different from the way Rudiger did
Rudiger
it.
was marking.
Was marking Haaland.
Like
Militao was
Allowing him play.
zonal marking and hoping that if
The ball doesn't get there.
once they want to pass, I can close him
can
down.
close him
doesn't
down.
get there.
And
How many chances did Haaland
Haaland-
get in the first
look.
leg? And how many chances did he get yesterday?
He got few touches even on the ball in the first leg compared to yesterday. He was in the game yesterday. In the first leg, he was absolutely nowhere.
Nowhere,
I'm
yeah.
sure when he got home, checking his pants and checking his shokoto, we would have found Rudiger in there. Rudiger followed him everywhere, and I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's sometimes we say
I
something.
sat here. I sat here. I think it was a week or two before that game, and I thought to myself, Rudiger is a game. Even if you sign Rudiger for £50 million,
Yeah.
you sign
is
Rudiger
worth it.
for those kind of
Yeah.
those
games.
kind of
Yes.
games,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, because you
He's
need him.
that kind of
Yes.
player for those kind of games.
Yes.
He's the kind of player that strikers are afraid
Don
of
Carlo will tell you, well, he's played with Militao and these guys,
Yeah.
and he's won it.
You know,
So,
sometimes,
again, that's why I can't bash him.
sometimes
Yeah,
those
that's
exactly. When you look
All
at the
these top
coach,
coaches, they
when you
don't-
look at
they
the
don't
coach,
really
you're like,
tweak things.
I don't feel really, I
You
don't
get it?
really,
I don't feel bash him.
I don't really
Because
bash
they're not a
him,
young
you
coach
know.
do that thing.
You know, but there's something Haaland does. I think he did it on Saturday, on Sunday against Everton. Haaland engages defenders a lot in conversations. I don't know why he does it. He engages the
He's trying to shake you off.
He talks to you.
Yeah.
You say something nasty, and you are answering him.
Yes.
Didn't happen with Rudiger.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Rudiger didn't say a word to him.
Just went about his business.
Just went about his business.
When a defender does that, you see Walker did
Maybe Rudiger
yesterday.
no hear wetin they talk.
You see Walker, you see,
Maybe na Chinese in the talk.
you see Walker did yesterday, and what Rudiger did with Haaland. I love it when defenders are like, see,
Yeah, just
I
defend.
love it. Like,
I think it's important that other younger defenders, maybe not younger defenders, defenders generally can pick a leaf from those books.
Yeah. My
That
problem is
knowing
even
how to
Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni has really dropped.
No, but
particularly-
it'll be fine. It'll be
I think-
fine.
Yeah, I think it's the
you'll be
boy
fine.
we can still spare him.
that brought Rudiger after the
Two
coach
don't
led
drop.
2-0.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so
When you now
sometimes-
need to go and get
Get
goals, that's
goals.
when you now brought Rudiger in.
sometimes some of these senior men
But Man
can,
City played really well.
sometimes some
They
of these
did.
senior men
Man City
can
played really
make
well.
mistakes and you're like, oh wow.
Obviously,
When
they
he's
just
sleeping,
won.
you'll be like,
Genius
oh wow,
will
what
fly
did I
everywhere.
do? Because it was simple. Start Rudiger, keep Militao on the bench, and maybe things could have
Some
been
people
different.
don't give him
But aside that, we're gonna go there now.
No,
But
please,
aside
let's go there
that,
because I want to go there.
yes, let's go there. Let's enter the bus already.
Milan screen feet.
Yeah, so Man City,
Boy, I don't know anything.
huge congratulations. Then Pep, said he
Pep-
reached
na
out
Pep
to.
people.
Pep said he reached out to
Pep fanboys.
me to make it be like say I know did
I don't know what's in the inside.
Pep reached out to I think
Wale
Rio
give us to
Ferdinand,
we
and he
begin
said
to
I
be
told
Sian.
you.
Now, producer,
Yes, the producer give us a with the drink. We
Because
don't
they find
know.
controversy.
We don't know what's in there. Why? Because man, you dey pour extra for him. It is saying go favor you. Yes. Right. So congratulations to Man City, but again we also need to say huge congratulations to.
the Nerazzurri.
I would say this that sometimes life is funny, guys. Life is so funny that if it is happening to you right now, and you're like, oh, I'm on top of it, it's possible that you have a sibling that it's going to happen for in the future or a friend. Let's talk about the Inzaghi family. Filippo Inzaghi, the elder brother to Simone Inzaghi, is one of the deadliest strikers in the history of world football.
Is it people in
Over-
Zach?
so there's a guy, there's this younger brother of mine. His name is State.
that
We
boy.
call him State Amani. He's one of
State, my
guy.
boy.
One of the issues with that boy is that he grew up watching football. He's a young boy. And I like him. I like him a lot. So he's always tackling everything I say. Maybe because he just feels that maybe because this boss is talking football for a living and I know
Think
more
say
than
sabi?
him. I think say sabi.
You can
so-
see when someone
So I mentioned some footballers. So yesterday, we were together. We were together in the house, and I mentioned Francesco Totti. And then he was like, who is Francesco Totti? What has he done?
Baldwin.
Who is he? What did he win? What he don't do for football? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Francesco Totti. So that aside, if I mention Inzaghi, if I mention Inzaghi now, he will tell you, oh, who be Inzaghi, blah, 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 blah. But we don't guess. So now, Philip,
Senior man.
let's talk about Inzaghi family. Filippo Inzaghi, as a footballer, one of the best there is, was and
He
never
was
will
born
be.
offside.
And they mention Ronaldo spoil those boys.
Over
Right? All those
300
guys
career
record
goals.
now.
Then his younger brother plays for Liga, Parma and Lazio. Simone Inzaghi was just not there. But as a manager, Filippo Inzaghi as coach, is he
Benevento.
Bari, Benevento?
He did score all this.
One of the worst records in the history of Serie A as a manager. Just like Frank de Boer had record of
No, Frank de
Premier
Boer, know what
League.
they beat down.
Baba.
7 games.
And then you now look at
he don't
Simone
score, he
Inzaghi.
don't win.
Simone Inzaghi's work as a Lazio coach before he went to Inter Milan was amazing.
Yeah.
So we can say, okay, Inter Milan are going back to their final since 2010, but we need to give a lot of respect to Simone Inzaghi for what he's been able to do
Absolutely.
Yeah.
with that
If this
particular
was Conte,
team.
we don't go hear word.
Yeah, of course.
With that particular team.
If this was Pep, we don't go hear
he
word.
goes about his business unassuming, but what is he been able to do with Edin Dzeko? And Dzeko is like maybe 59 now.
But now because of the league with ND.
It's
But now
37.
because of the
Dzeko
league
can't
with
be
ND.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
age.
But yes,
The league
yes.
now- the league now slowly.
Yeah, no be lie, Baba.
Eddie Dzeko and Kanu be like the same age.
The
no be
league
lie.
now.
My country
No be like-
people.
Oh, I can't do that one. I can't do on you. Why not you like this?
Papilo.
I know say one day.
And this is somebody that
Hello, my
Papilo
country
has done some
people.
football. Can you believe it? You know, that's where the line came from.
Hello, my country
Can
people.
you believe it?
Right, so yeah, the
So
Nerazzurris are here.
Simone Inzaghi, I think one of the brightest coaches in Italian football. Incredible how Italy and Portugal, those two countries are
interesting
producing
coaches.
some of the best coaches in world football.
True.
Incredible.
Young,
And
vibrant, intelligent coaches. Sabi the game.
that guy is
Germans too.
It's
And English
German
as well.
too.
English too.
Yeah.
I go pour you this thing.
I agree. Now, because I don't like the
Which
drink.
are the young managers? Lampard
Lampard and
and
Potter.
Steven Gerrard.
Potter is a decent guy.
Steven Gerrard is back in the studio. Should stay there.
He should remain there. Lampard should go back to being.
Go.
Once this season ends,
Brilliant job with his black suit,
he's a
white shirt,
fantastic pundit.
open his shirt a little
Shouldn't
bit.
shouldn't
Fine
find
boy.
shouldn't
boy.
shouldn't try going into anybody's dressing room. If he tries it, he's go and interview people. If you see him near anybody's dressing room, arrest him. If you see him near anybody's dressing room, arrest him immediately. He's a dangerous man.
So if he enters somebody's dressing
Consider
room,
him dangerous.
he should interview people.
Interview people. Or consider him dangerous and armed with inexperience, armed with ineptitude, and armed with
For Frank Lampard.
fake license that was gotten from
Frank-
AliExpress.
Frank Lampard as a
Super
footballer.
Frank in the mud.
Do you know? I don't want to go here, but I think soon we will go there.
Football is not.
You know,
Coaching is not his thing.
but yeah, it's not.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, let's go.
Because
Let's go.
we
So
Lampard,
for Simone Inzaghi, coming from Lazio, you know what a job he did for Lazio. I think he won a trophy. He won the Coppa Italia with Lazio. Incredible work.
Did he block me
Coming
for
to
camera?
Inter
Did he
Milan.
warn yourself, oh?
Sorry.
Coming to Inter
my
Milan,
brother.
you know, took over from Conte
Yeah.
at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
You know, had a good season. This season hasn't been great, to be honest. It hasn't been a great season, but he was going to be fired. At some point, you know, he was going to be fired, but he's kept his squad. What he's done that is quite incredible is the group of players he has. You know, we talk about Dzeko over 30, you know, Lukaku getting close to 30, Icherbi in defense, a lot of old players, you know, Mkhitaryan, older legs, Brozovic, Damian. To have those players and the intensity I saw them in against AC Milan over two
no
legs, and that's why I say, if you're supporting Man City and you think that final is going to
push
be
over.
easy, I would think that
You need to think
I would
again.
think that Inter Milan would have been happy to play Man City than to play Real Madrid.
You think?
Yeah, they
you
said
need-
it.
You need to
They
think
said it.
again.
I think Inter Milan would have been happy
They
to
said it.
play because when you get to the final, Real Madrid are, I don't care what team you are, when you get to the final with Real Madrid, it's a different, I don't know, maybe they get one
They go to
medicine
a
man.
place.
Did he go collect something, you know, to
They
play
go to
final?
they go to a place in their head.
He's going to get a tune out of those players. He's going to get those players to work as hard as, and they are players who are willing to sacrifice themselves. You know, you see Mkhitaryan. Never
in your
saw
book-
Mkhitaryan
in your book, I
in
want
the
you to-
defensive position.
You know, I want to give you 1 minute of just helping finish this player because I think there's one thing I like about you when you want to talk about footballers. How
And they wind
good?
them.
How good is Nicolo Barella?
Yeah, top class. I think it's top class. It was the kind of player where you cannot put a price on, like say, oh, he's worth 100 million, he's worth 80 million. You know, Wenger said something about Gilberto Silva. He said, Gilberto Silva is the kind of player that when he's on the pitch, you're like, what exactly does he do? When he's not on the pitch, you're like, hey, I see what he does. Barella is one of those players. You know, it's not like there's something particular about his game that
It's like Gavi.
he's that great.
What?
But he is
Gavi's like that.
around
I'm
the
not having this
pitch,
conversation
you
with
know, he's running power,
Yes,
power,
man.
his ball retention, his ability to bring other people into the game, unbelievable footballer. And that's the kind of player you play finals
I like
with.
him anyways.
Yes.
I
That's
like
the kind of
That's
player
the
you
player.
play finals with
That's the
because
player.
he's going to get into the final and not think about anybody.
Just
He's going to
want to
think
play.
about the team.
Yes.
I'm going to work for the team. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give the team 120%. And that's what Inter Milan have got.
Luckily,
They've got players who can give you 120% every game.
Does Inter stand a chance in that final?
I know. Oh, absolutely. If you get to the final of the Champions, you got a chance. I'll tell you this, right? If you're playing in the final, and you know we've talked about it a couple times on the show. I want to tell a story, so I have to link it together. There is City feel really unstoppable now. There's a danger in that. It is okay. It works. It's okay to feel
Yeah, of course.
unstoppable. You need it because that's where you want to be to go into games. But ultimately, there's a danger in that. If you feel unstoppable, say for example, last night they felt unstoppable.
I dey come, I won't go peaceful. I dey come. Me na continue.
Look at this man.
This has never happened on this show. Unprecedented.
Very unprofessional. I never go peace as the
As
host.
host. That's
So it's okay to feel unstoppable. I think you need that, but also having a balance. There's a lesson in that with Arsenal this season. We'll come to it. The balance.
we're not coming, please.
The balance
That is everybody go to their house.
Now my house is it your house? Go on your own now.
They will come to that. Come to what?
Did they go peace now? You fit stand, they go your house. So, for example, last night they got a goal from the intensity, from the pressure they piled on Madrid. The Toni Kroos ball that hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
If that had gone in, maybe it's a different game.
Yeah, of course it is.
Possibly a different game.
It is.
So it is okay to feel unstoppable, but there's ultimately a danger in that. And the story I wanted to tell. In 2012, I remember clearly when Chelsea made it to the final, on paper and by virtue of how bad that team had been in the league, and how immense Bayern team were that
and they
season.
were going to play the match.
I remember clearly, there was a time I was in Ondo State in the build up to the final. A friend of mine I was with in Ondo State said, Baba, he was almost telling me, you the mad, you don't get sense. How you go look this Bayern, talk say this Chelsea go fit. You the mad me. You get like he was almost telling me, look at it. Are you you brain day your head at all? And that's the danger I speak about. Because it's a final. The final is the ultimate clash of ideologies. The final is the ultimate clash of wit. It is the ultimate clash of
football heritage.
Of mentality.
Football heritage.
It's the,
Heritage
you
killed
get,
here.
is the ultimate clash of mentality. You understand? The ultimate. Remember the Bayern game that we're talking about. They scored, Chelsea equalized. Nobody saw that equalizer coming. And then they got a penalty.
That's the most powerful header I've ever seen in football.
I'm telling you, my brother. It be like so they shoot the header.
I have never
Guess
seen
what?
that.
Then they got a penalty. They scored that penalty, it's game over.
Yeah.
If they scored that penalty, it's game over. Robben went and missed that penalty. The Bayern Munich team that entered into that final were unstoppable. They were such a good team.
True.
Robben on the right, Frank Ribery on the left. It was an
Ribery.
impossible team to play against. And that's what I'm saying. If you look at this Inter Milan team and think, oh, it's a write-off, I think you have another thing coming. One thing we'll have to realize about Simeone Inzaghi, when he came on board, he wanted a different style of play. He wanted to play more expansive, if you remember clearly.
Yeah.
He was a bit different from what Conte was doing. He has reverted back to what Conte was doing.
Yeah.
Now he plays with three at the back. That's why they are where they are now. If it was how he was playing when he first came, where they were a bit more expansive, they
Yeah,
want to play a
let's
bit of
enjoy it.
champagne.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. They were conceding goals. Now he has gone back to three at the back. You saw the job they did against Benfica. You saw the one they did against Porto. The job they did against Porto. Believe me or not, this is why the kind of players
Not Porto, Benfica.
Benfica, they played against Porto
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
Porto. Yeah, true.
Yes, now.
Porto.
They went into the Porto game. They have Inter Milan with those players, but they weren't favorites like that. It was an evenly balanced game.
Yeah.
They did
Even the Benfica game
even
was
the Benfica game. As a matter of fact, some people felt like because of the kind of football Benfica were playing, they could play peace passes together, beautiful stuff. They scored lots of goals. Carlo Ramos didn't get a sniff. So, and you expect that in the final, they will sit there and fight City tooth and nail. And when that happens, anything can happen.
Yeah,
City
anything
on
can
paper
happen.
they look
good.
I think
I like
graduates.
Pep to win.
I think
I
they
like
graduates
Pep
again.
to win.
What
I
do you
think
mean
they
brilliant,
graduates.
brilliant?
I like Pep
Do you know how
to
long
win.
he has been doing this?
Tell him. This man
He does not know. Do you
This
know how
man
long?
doesn't know
Do you
why.
know how long he has
He's
been doing this for?
skinny. If he
He
stands
has
up,
skin in
stands
the
up
game.
now, the shoulders all.
This man doesn't know.
Which happen
He doesn't
again?
know who I am.
So
After giving years
can I
to this
counter
game,
what
playing.
you just
Now I'm
said?
giving
Time no
years.
dey to
something
counter.
you
Why
want
you want
to
counter?
really-
The thing good. Wait, you no counter anything.
Only round
No counter.
You don't like
you
better
want
thing.
counter as well.
You don't like better thing. After
Counter.
after I do this kind of analysis, what I
Counter.
do.
You see one counter.
Counter now.
After I do this kind of analysis, what I do because I don't be Gary
Let
Neville.
him counter. He
if
go end up as
Rufai-
counterfeit.
Yeah, better counterfeit. Oh yeah, continue.
if Rufai should come here and tell me, Chelsea came back from everyone not thinking they would beat Bayern Munich. You make mention of some teams in the final. But I'm telling you, and I'll tell you again, the way I said it last time.
Man City will kill Inter Milan.
No, this is it. Pep will never lose a back-to-back Champions League final.
Why?
But he wasn't in the final
No,
last year.
why?
Cook, when I mean
you
back
say
to back,
cannot,
the last time,
How?
last time was in final.
Jeko Cook.
Did you see him losing that final?
That's why I
Have
said.
you forgotten what IBK said?
That's why I said.
The build up to the Chelsea final.
That's why I
Ele.
said you
So
would never lose a back-to-back
It'll
final.
be nice to see.
No, while and
Anyone that wants to,
No analysis. You just
that-
believe you will never win.
anyone that wants to make
No
a bet,
analysis. You just
anyone,
believe.
I know they analyze anything for you.
You-
Anyone that
I
wants to
don't
make,
die.
anyone that wants to make
I
a
like
bet,
that.
It's
I
just
like
vibes
that.
and inshallah.
anyone
like
that wants
that.
to make a bet,
Yes. Let them
no,
come.
at the talk, waiting Pep.
IBK I go drag
Let them
you.
come. Right.
Anyone that
So
wants to
make
make
you
a
win,
bet,
though.
bro, I
Pep
beg,
better win.
call anybody.
let them come.
I go drop 100k for you.
Let them come.
Anybody who want bets.
Anyways, so yeah.
Say
By the
Inter
way,
go
so-
win.
so- sorry,
Make him bring
Jide.
him money.
Yes, please.
Sorry, Jide.
Yes.
IBK, that thing where they do for Twitter, bet. IBK post picture of Puff.
IBK.
Say, count
you
the
feel
amount
it?
of Puff in this thing and collect something from it. Baba, if you want to give somebody something, give somebody.
No, that
Before
one
you
even
count
that
Puff.
one even better. The one where they bust my head. IBK go say, can you finish this for 4 million? I say,
You
IBK,
get 4 million.
do you understand? I know they
You have 4
if you get
million
4
naira.
million, now I need 100k. You don't give me.
You get 4 million.
About me drop location now.
You never see anything. Oh my J.
Is it a hard five
You
plate?
don't forget, see, that year where would they host all week for Unilag, where they do eating competition. You never see who chop
Baba,
18
people
wraps
dey
of
chop.
fufu.
People they chop.
Say they whine me.
People they chop.
Bros, drop location and hard five plates.
18
People they chop.
No be say who
Yes.
chop the most. Now first to chop am.
Chop
So
am,
if
yes.
they chop,
He dey
see,
chop.
fast, finish one wrap, carry the second
Baba,
one.
18.
18. Check the
dey
whine
chop.
me.
You know that?
People
No.
they chop. Why you won't die? Right, so yeah, congratulations to the two teams that made it to the finals of the
I'm hustling for this
Champions League. Shout out to Inter Milan and City by far and away. I think one of the things Champions League cup competitions in a way show us is that sometimes the best teams actually make the finals.
Yeah, of course.
Especially World
Best
Cup.
team in
World
that
Cup is
tournament.
even worse.
Yeah, the best
Don't
teams
be
actually.
fluke your way to final.
The best thing.
You can actually.
You can rig the final. You can
World
rig
Cup.
the whole tournament.
You can rig.
We
You
can
can
rig
fluke
the
your
whole
way.
tournament.
World
We all
Cup.
know.
England could have reached the
Yes.
final last time and it was rigging.
Yes.
That last time,
rigging.
not this last one.
World
as in
Cup. Are you
2018.
whining me?
This last
They were
World
going.
Cup,
They
we
played.
will not have this conversation.
When did
Which conversation we don't have?